Welcome to the Rogers Center in Toronto. Another beautiful day. The roof open. It's game 4 of a 4-game series between the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Don Orsillo, as always, joined by Jerry Remy. Welcome to Red Sox baseball. Well, the Red Sox, with a victory here today, could win the series against the Blue Jays and go 5-2 on this road trip. And lately, Jerry, the road's been better. Well, it has been better for them. And, you know, you look back on the last 10 road games, the Red Sox are 7-3 in that span. And you can see the numbers of 264 for a team batting average. They've hit 12 home runs. The runs per game, almost 5 per game, and starters ERA 3.28. Now, that got blown up a little bit because of yesterday, what happened here in Toronto, but they have been playing much better at the road. Now, the key is, can they play better at home? You know, once this game is over tonight, the Red Sox started this road trip at 9 games out of first place. We'll see where they end up after this game tonight. Right now at 7, so they've made some baby steps in that direction, but they've also got to play better at home. They have not played that well at home this year. They finished up there before the All-Star break, so, you know, kind of a big game tonight in Toronto. It's a successful road trip so far, but it could be much more successful with a win tonight. The Red Sox need better starting pitching tonight, no doubt about it. They got Wade Miley on the hill tonight for Boston. Miley has got at least 6 innings in his last 3 outings and won 2 of those 3. We're back with the first pitch right after this. A new Audi A3 today. Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Toyota's website for deals by Toyota.com. Digital Federal Credit Union, see what DCU can save you. The Scion TC. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at Southwest.com. Welcome back to the Rogers Center in Toronto for the finale of this 4-game series, last game of the road trip. But before we get started, let's send it down to Garen Austin. Garen?
Thanks, Don. Ryan Hannigan is officially off the DL and back in the lineup tonight. Manager John Farrell said that Jonathan Arroyo was optioned to Pawtucket, and for the time being, they will carry 3 catchers.
We sent Jonathan Arroyo back to Pawtucket to make room for Ryan. You know, so that obviously gives us the 3 catchers for the time being. We don't anticipate doing or staying with that alignment too much going forward. So with Shane Victorino soon to come back, there's probably a couple things that are soon to take place roster-wise.
Now, Jerry, it seems like there are some decisions to be made, and Victorino coming back very soon, apparently, and that 3-catcher situation will not continue.
Yeah, you don't see very many teams now in baseball carry 3 catches, and there are a lot of reasons why, obviously, but I would expect when we get back home tomorrow, and Victorino is expected to be back, but tomorrow, that you will see a couple of roster changes then.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays take the field tonight. As they do, let's check out the Red Sox starting lineup. It's brought to you by your Eastern Hyundai dealers. Mookie Betts leading it off and in center field with Brock Holt at second base, batting second. Xander Bogaerts at shortstop bats third with David Ortiz, the DH, in the cleanup spot. Hanley Ramirez in left field with Pablo Sandoval at third base. Mike Napoli bats seventh and plays at first with Alejandro De Aza in right field batting eighth. And it is Ryan Hannigan returning to the Red Sox lineup. He bats ninth. The Blue Jays starting pitcher presented by New England Nissan dealers. Matt Boyd just drafted in 2013 in the big leagues here in 2015, getting ready for his second major league start. 0-1 so far this year with a 5.40 earned run average. 7 strikeouts in his first outing. Did not walk anybody in that first outing. This year in the minor leagues between AA New Hampshire and AAA. He appeared in 14 games and was 7-2 with a 1.26 earned run average, 82 strikeouts to only 18 walks. And the Blue Jays are very excited about this left-hander.
Now, the Blue Jays defense is brought to you by DraftKings, and they are 6th in the American League with 42 errors in 80 games. Josh Donaldson will be at third base. Jose Reyes, the shortstop. Devin Travis at second, and Chris Colabello, the first baseman. Left to right, Danny Valencia, Kevin Pillar, and Jose Batista, and Russell Martin doing the catching for Boyd.
Tonight's umpires are brought to you by Buick. Experience a new Buick lineup during this year's Sign and Drive. See your local Buick dealer today. The crew chief, Jerry Davis, has a play call on the balls and strikes with Tony Randazzo at first base. Will Little at second base, and Phil Cuzzi is the umpire at third. Where available, this telecast can be heard in Spanish by selecting the SAP button on your television remote. SAP is presented by Diplomatico Rum. Enjoy the game.
Buenas noches, amigos.
Well, Mookie Betts standing in as Matt Boyd ready to work. And the first pitch of the ball game is in there for strike one. This guy likes to throw a lot of strikes. I mentioned didn't walk anybody in his first major league outing. It was against the Texas Rangers. And there for strike two.
And he's got all 4 pitches to the fastball, curveball, slider, and changeup. That last pitch was the changeup to Betts.
See the number for Mookie's coming into this game. And he lines one to left field for a base hit to get it started. So Mookie Betts with a single to left here in the first inning.
Now Mookie able to get the breaking ball. 0-2 count, and way too good a pitch right here as it stays out over the plate. And Mookie Betts lines it hard to left field for the base hit. Last time out, 3 home runs given up by Boyd in that game against Texas. I saw a little bit of that game and watched him pitch. It's been quite a rush to the big leagues for him.
See his arsenal coming into this game as he now deals with Brock Holt, who will take strike one. Now, Brock had yesterday off, first time since Pedroia went on the DL that Holt had a day off from second base. And started the last 24 games prior to that. And a day off for him yesterday, back in there tonight at second base. On the ground, foul outside of first.
A little different look that time from Boyd, too. The first time he gave the high leg kick to Betts at first base. The second time, second pitch, he used the slide step, which was very difficult to attempt to steal on. Slide step meaning that he just slides that front foot down near the ground. Doesn't use a high leg kick and quickly gets the ball to home plate.
Throw to first base, and Betts was kind of leaning in the other direction. And he gets back to the bag.
A little hesitation by Betts as he was not sure after the leg kick on whether he was going to be coming to first base or going home.
I mentioned Boyd getting here quickly. So we look at the throw over again. But a crossover to get back that time. There's a second player from the Blue Jays 2013 draft to make his major league appearance. Kendall Graveman did so last year. As that'll miss outside to Brock Holt.
Once again, with no balls and 2 strikes, back to that slide step. And again, that's very difficult to get a jump off of. Sometimes, though, for a pitcher, it takes a little velocity off a pitch.
In the air down the left field line, it'll make its way foul. And hold here with the count of 1-2.
Number of years, the Red Sox had a bunch of guys that were doing that, and all of a sudden they just dixed it because it was, you know, they were losing stuff off their pitches and worrying too much about the base runners.
Guy who began the season at AA New Hampshire. Was promoted on June 13 to AAA Buffalo. Last two starts coming for Buffalo. This is on the ground, vacated right side into right field. Betts will stop at second base. Bautista will get it back in, and the first two Red Sox have reached here in the first inning.
A nice job by Brock Holt. I mean, you know, he gets a breaking ball and is able to just make contact and find that hole between first and second. Mookie Betts has to hold up, so that means he'll have to stop at second base, but Holt does a pretty good job right there, lefty against lefty.
2 on, nobody out. Xander Bogaerts coming up. Xander had 289 to start the night, batting in the 3 spot again for Boston. 3 home runs, 33 runs batted in. So far 2 for 12 in this series against the Blue Jays.
Bogart's just faking a bunt down that third base line to bring Donaldson in a step or two. Donaldson remains about even with the bag.
And Bogart's trying to hold up. They'll check. He did not go. This is Tony Randazzo. And it's 2-0.
Look from the side, and that one could have gone either way, I think. Bogarts may have gotten a break on that.
Xander fouls it back to the screen, and it's 2-1. Bogart's leading the Red Sox with runners in scoring position, ranks 9th in the American League in average with runners in scoring position at 356. It's a chance here to do some damage in the first inning with Mookie Betts at second and Brock Holt at first. Line to center field, a base hit for Bogarts. Betts being waved around. He will score, and the Red Sox jump on top 1-0. 3 straight hits in the Boston first inning and a 1-0 Red Sox lead.
Bogarts gets a changeup, so all 3 hits in this inning have been on off-speed pitches. Curveball, and then changeup that gets up over the head of Boyd and into center field. So good job staying back right there by Xander Bogarts to pick up that base hit and the RBI. That's his 34th RBI of the season.
2 on, nobody out, a run in, and here is David Ortiz. The start for David against a left-handed pitcher. Facing Burley yesterday. Hits a .228, 13 homers, 36 runs batted in. We'll pull it back and take a ball outside. David hitting at 120 against left-handed pitching this year. 10 for 83 coming in. Outside for ball 2, and Boyd behind again. Before that base hit for Xander Bogarts, the Red Sox have been 0 for the last 15 with runners in scoring position. A big RBI single there for Bogarts, and Red Sox looking to do some more damage here in the first inning. Ortiz to left field. Danny Valencia going back, looking up, and that is gone. 3-run home run for David Ortiz the other way. His 14th home run of the year, and the Red Sox take a 4-0 lead in the first inning. A little bit like the Blue Jays attack yesterday. Red Sox getting it started early tonight.
Yeah, I don't know how many this year David's got to the opposite field, but that one, he gets the fastball and goes the other way with it. You know, most of the time we see him go to the opposite field. It's at Fenway Park, but this time he goes the other way on a fastball right away from him and takes it over the fence for the home run. That ball had a little bit of a slice to it too, along with some distance.
First home run of the year for Ortiz against a left-handed pitcher. And here's Hanley Ramirez jumping on that first pitch, fouls it back for strike one.
We mentioned he gave up 3 home runs last time he pitched to Boyd. Already won here in the first inning.
58 home runs in his career against the Blue Jays. Only ahead of A-Rod, who has 57. Curveball that will miss a tad high, 1-1. Well, for every home run the Red Sox hit the rest of the season, Alltown will donate $500 to the Cystic Fibrosis Multiple Sclerosis Fund. Alltown is New England's premier healthier convenience retailer. 1-1 pitch outside, just off the outside edge. And 1 for 4 with a triple in yesterday's game. In the air to deep left field for Hanley Ramirez, and this is a blast to left. Red Sox go back-to-back with home runs. First Big Papi, now Hanley Ramirez, and the Red Sox out to the 5-0 lead in the first inning.
And that's why the Red Sox wanted Hanley Ramirez back in this lineup as soon as possible. 7-game hitting streak now for Ramirez, home run number 16. That was a changeup that time. So, I mean, it's been all off-speed pitches except for the one to David Ortiz. There's a changeup that goes down and in. That's supposed to be down and away. And Ramirez leaves.
Oh, what a start tonight for the Red Sox, and home run number 16 of the year for Hanley Ramirez. 4th time the Red Sox have gone back-to-back this year. 2nd time the combination of Ortiz and Ramirez have gone back-to-back. It was April 24th at Baltimore the last time, and there's a breaking ball in for strike one to Pablo Sandoval. 267, 7 homers and 27 runs batted in. Foul off to the left out of play. Join the Red Sox tomorrow for a special Independence Day celebration pyrotechnics show. Following the game against the Astros, make sure to stick around for the pyrotechnics show. For all ticketed fans, visit redsox.com for tickets today. This event is weather and time permitting.
Are we expecting some weather tomorrow?
I don't think so.
There's going to be weather. I mean,
yes,
but there's weather every
it's
day.
Good weather from what I saw, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
I hope so.
On the ground and into right field for a base hit. That is 6 straight Boston hits here in the first inning.
Another hanging curveball that time from Boyd. I mean, you know, he gets ahead of guys and he hadn't been able to put them away when he's made some bad pitches. A hanging curveball that time to Sandoval leaves it inside. And Sandoval able to pull it for the base hit. See the mislocation. That ball's supposed to be away. Stays inside. The hit parade continues here in the first inning.
The Blue Jays are now just getting somebody up in the pen. Right-hander just threw a first pitch as now Napoli stands in and takes a ball down and in. Liam Hendricks, used to seeing him towards the end of games, and now he is up here in the first inning for the Blue Jays. 25th pitch of this first inning for Matt Boyd. Napoli will take the strike, 1-1. Under 200 now is Napoli at 198 coming in. 10 homers and 30 runs batted in. That'll get away from Russell Martin, and up to second base goes Sandoval. Sandoval in scoring position now on the wild pitch. Napoli ahead in the count, 2-1. Boyd steps off, looks Sandoval back to the bag. Grab his bearings here in the first inning. Still nobody out. All three, 3-1. That started with Betts with a single to left, Holt a single to right, Bogarts with an RBI single to center. A 3-run home run for David Ortiz. A solo shot for Hanley Ramirez. They go back to back. A single for Sandoval on a wild pitch gets him to second base. 3-1 is ball 4, and Napoli headed down to first base.
Out right now trying to buy some more time for Hendricks out there in the bullpen, and apparently he's got enough time right now because here comes John Gibbons.
So the youngster does not get an out in this first inning, unable to record an out. Faces a total of 7 batters, 5 scores so far. He's responsible for the 2 men on. And that will be the night for Matt Boyd. And Hendricks coming in here now for the Blue Jays. A 5-run first inning so far for the Red Sox.
Yeah, that was certainly no mystery for the Red Sox. And when you look at the hits, the majority of the hits, with the exception of the Ortiz home run, coming on breaking balls and changeups. And David had the only one on a fastball, and that was to the opposite field. And he is in shock right now in that dugout. He can't believe what just happened. You go down, you warm up, and 20 minutes later you're out of the game and haven't got an out.
Send it down to Guerin.
Thanks, Don. Let's take a look at the Red Sox upcoming schedule. After tonight's series finale here in Toronto, the Sox head home for an 8-game homestand. The first place Houston Astros come to town for 3 games, followed by a 2-game interleague set with the Marlins. Then the rival Yankees come to Fenway for the last 3 games before the All-Star break. Don, back to you.
Guerin, thanks very much. As Matt Boyd's day is over, his pitching line is brought to you by your Eastern Lexus dealers. Did not record an out, 6 hits, 5 runs so far, a walk and no strikeouts. He is responsible for Pablo Sandoval's at second base and Napoli at first. So the book not entirely closed on me through 28 pitches for being lifted here by John Gibbons in the first inning. So a great start tonight for the Red Sox. Matt Boyd shaking his head as the new pitcher is Liam Hendricks into the game now for the Blue Jays. His 30th appearance, 2-0, the 2.55 earned run average, 36 strikeouts to 6 walks, and opponents hitting at 218 against the right-hander. And again, generally, these guys you see in the 7th, 8th innings at times for the Blue Jays, and now here he is in inning number 1 tonight.
You know, sometimes you worry about young pitchers. In this case, Boyd, you know, do you bring him up too soon? And he's pitched 2 games so far. He's given up a total of 4 home runs already in 2 games. And what does that do to a confidence? A guy that's been in A-ball and AA this year. I mean, you know, it's got to hurt. You know, am I ready to pitch at the big league level? I mean, that's got to be going through his mind.
And here's Alejandro De Aza, the 8th member of the Red Sox to bat in the first. He drops a bunt, or tried to drop a bunt down, but fouled it back.
I don't like that. You got the runs. You don't have any outs yet. I say let's try to pile on here early. Swing it back.
Sandoval at second, Napoli at first, nobody out. Hendricks is not allowed to run over his last 14 1/3 innings. It's 12 outings for him. There's a liner towards left center field. On the run is Pilar. He'll dive and he can't get it. That's going to go back to the track and the wall. Sandoval coming around from second base. He will score. Napoli trying to score from first. He will. As to third with a triple goes De Aza, and the Red Sox jump out to a 7-0 lead in the first inning.
That's exactly what I was talking about, Don. I mean, why give away an out when you haven't, you've already got 5 runs on the board. Keep swinging that bat right now because you're on fire. You're moving that line, and keep that line moving. Breaking ball, not a bad one too. That was down. That's just good hitting by De Aza. As he gets it by Pilar, who's got very good speed in center field. And 2 more runs come across for the Red Sox.
So that now does close the book on Matt Boyd, who did not get an out. He is charged with all 7 Red Sox runs. Infield in now for the Blue Jays with Boston on top 7-0. And still there is nobody out here in the inning. The return of Ryan Hannigan. Strike on the outside corner. Now 0-2. Right today talking about what he's been doing to hide that bare hand that kept getting hit in what ended up putting him on the DL after fracturing some knuckles in there, and said he worked during his rehab games at hiding that hand again, something that had been coming out quite a bit. We saw him hit a few times, Jerry, before he ended up being hit and ended up on the DL.
Yeah, he was taking a beating before. I mean, he ended up on the DL because he has a tendency, instead of having that hand behind his back, to let it hang down to the side. You can see it right there. And that's how he got clipped, this time off the bat or the hand of Teixeira.
A little bloop to second base. Travis will back up and make the catch. And not cheer here in Toronto as the Jays record their first out. 1 down here in the first inning.
Infield will stay in now with 1 out, and Betts getting his second at bat of the inning.
Now Betts started it all with a single to left field off Matt Boyd. Infield still in here for the Blue Jays. Now bounce in. Nice block there by Martin with the runner at third and De Aza. Take advantage of specially priced Red Sox student tickets. Tickets are available for every Sox game for just $9 for all students 15 and over. Visit redsox.com/students to take advantage of this great offer today. Short lead at third for De Aza. And a pitch outside to make it 2-0. That's now 6 for 14 in the series against the Blue Jays. And ahead in the count, 3-0. Some close pitches.
A couple that have gone, could have gone either way, but has gone in Betts' direction.
That one picks up the strike zone. It's 3-1 on that outside corner. That's for the home run here yesterday. Solo shot. And a foul down the right field line this time. Full count as Hendricks battles back. Alejandro De Aza with a 2-run triple at third base with 1 out here in the first inning. Fouled off to the right, out of play.
Everything away from Mookie Betts in this at bat. I mean, there's no question how they're trying to pitch to him, especially righty against righty. Trying to go away again on the 3-2 count.
And a ground ball through the left side into left field, a base hit. De Aza will score, and the Red Sox take an 8-0 lead. Mookie Betts driving in the 8th run.
Well, on 3-2, I mean, he has to come in with a fastball. He has to get it over the plate, and it's right over the middle of the plate. So with the infield in and Betts hits the ground ball, no problem getting through the infield. So Mookie with 2 at-bats here in the first inning, 2 for 2 with an RBI. He's got 36 RBIs now in the season.
It was the most runs scored in an inning this season for the Red Sox, and tonight it is coming in the first inning. On top 8-0 right now is Brock Holt. That's his second at bat of the game and of this inning. Singled to right field and scored the Red Sox second run. Red Sox entering the game with the second lowest average against left-handed pitchers. They took it to the lefty tonight for the Blue Jays. And Matt Boyd, who is charged with 7 of the 8 runs. There goes the runner at first, and Betts pitch in the dirt and standing to second base. And the stolen base is Mookie Betts.
And why not? You know, I know they've got 8 runs in the inning. It's the first inning. Keep going.
On the ground, kicked off the pitcher Hendricks to third base. Donaldson can't grab it cleanly.
They're going to
call him out.
Yeah, they're going to call Betts out because he interfered with Donaldson.
This will bring John Farrell out.
You got to see contact here between Mookie Betts and Donaldson, and they're going to call interference on Mookie Betts. That ball kicked to a I mean, there's really nothing anybody could do about it.
Yeah, I mean, did he obstruct him? Was he in the way? Yeah, but he was in the baseline, and
well, it was also kicked. I mean, he was as surprised as anybody to look up and see Donaldson there. Made an effort right there to get out of the way, but there was still contact. Donaldson wouldn't have had a Holt at first base anyway.
So 2 down now in the inning. So interference is the call. Runner out, and Mookie Betts is out number 2. So Holt reaches on a fielder's choice on the play. At first with 2 down in the inning, and Xander Bogaerts, who singled to drive in the Red Sox first run in the first inning. Now ground ball to short. Reyes will go to first and end the inning, but what an inning it was. The Red Sox score 8 times and take an 8-0 lead. Wade Miley's got an 8-run lead as he deals here with leadoff hitter Jose Reyes in the bottom of the first inning. Miley's got to treat this like it is a 1-0 game and try to keep his edge here as he takes the hill with an 8-0 advantage and falls behind the first batter 3-0. The Red Sox starting pitcher presented by your local New England Audi dealers. 16th start, 7-7, 4.38 ERA. There's a strike to Reyes. What a start tonight for the Red Sox. 8 runs, 8 hits. 7 of the 8 runs off Matt Boyd, the starter tonight. A strike and a full count. On the ground is shortstop. Bogarts to his left. For the first out here in the bottom of the first inning. Now the Blue Jays lineup is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, with Josh Donaldson at third base. Jose Bautista in right field. Edwin Encarnacion, the DH, with Chris Colabello at first base. Russell Martin doing the catching. Danny Valencia in left with Kevin Pillar in center. And Devin Travis in second base. Bats ninth. One down here in the first inning. And Josh Donaldson, the recipient of strike one. Over 300 to start the day at 302. 19 homers, 51 runs batted in. Well, for Miley, facing the Blue Jays twice in his career, not good numbers. 0-2 with a 10.57 earned run average. 9 earned runs in 7 2/3 against the Jays.
I've been watching Hannigan over the first number of pitches, and you can see that hand clearly behind his back.
He said it took him a couple of starts really to get used to not worrying about where his hand is and getting used to having it back behind him again, because he'd gotten away from that.
That's a little surprising for a catcher, because usually that's pretty much automatic.
This one is right in front of the plate. It is a fair ball, and he will fire to first base. Nice play by Hannigan to get Donaldson. 2 down.
Now the Red Sox defense is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. They're 8th in the American League with 46 errors in 80 games. Pablo Sandoval at third base, Xander Bogaerts at shortstop, Brock Holt at second, and Mike Napoli at first. Left to right, Hanley Rivera, Smokey Betts, and Alejandro De Aza, and Ryan Hannigan, who just made that play, doing the catching.
2 down here in the first inning. Jose Bautista will take strike one. 241 average coming in for Bautista. 16 home runs, 53 runs batted in. He's first in the American League in walks with 58 coming in. As he takes the strike, down on the count 1-2.
Now more walks than strikeouts, 58 walks, 49 strikeouts.
Yesterday getting his 16th home run of the year. Part of the attack yesterday by the Blue Jays. Broken bat as it splinters on a foul pop-up that'll land harmlessly in foul ground. So going to collect what's left of that bat around the home plate area. Tonight's Cold Hard Facts are brought to you by Clean Crisp Coors Light. Miley's career numbers in July in 17 starts, 11-4 with a 2.40 ERA. Two balls, 2 strikes to Jose Bautista. Low for ball 3. Bautista with his 16th home run yesterday. Moving on up the list, he's 4 home runs shy of tying Vernon Wells for second on the club's all-time list. And we're talking about walks. He gains one here with 2 outs. That's the thing Miley wants to do here with this big lead.
And Miley upset with himself, walking with 2 outs. Bautista trying to go to a curveball, a hard curveball with two strikes on the 3-2 count. Walks Bautista. Here's the last pitch, the breaking ball. You can see Miley upset with himself.
Encarnacion taking strike one. His DH. 240, 17 homers, and 50 runs batted in. Wants time, gets it. Miley speeding up per usual, and Encarnacion trying to break that up a little bit. That's 22 games. Encarnacion hitting at .298 as he fouls that back. 1-2. So he's been pretty good against the Red Sox in his last 22 games against Boston. He's hit at .315. And yesterday he picked up his 17th home run of the year. Fly ball towards left center field. Hanley Ramirez is over to make the catch that ends the inning. Batista left at first, done with one. It's 8-0 Boston. Eight to nothing. Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays as we head to inning number 2, and David Ortiz leads it off here in the second. Shift on here for the Jays on the right side as David takes a pitch in the dirt. And move Devin Travis to short right. Jose Reyes, the shortstop, to the right side of the infield. David with a 3-run home run in the first inning. Pops it up in the infield. Left side, Donaldson, the third baseman, will make the catch for the first out of the inning. It's time to vote for your Red Sox All-Stars. Vote on 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot at redsox.com today. Voting ends tonight at midnight. Get your vote in now. One out here in the second inning brings up Hanley Ramirez. Ortiz and Ramirez going back to back with home runs in the first inning. For Hanley, a solo shot and his 16th home run of the year. Two and 0. On deck, Pablo Sandoval. Red Sox batting here in the top of the second inning. There's a strike. 2-1. Ended up right down the middle at 95. And Hendricks back out there, and she came in for Matt Boyd. Reaches out and hits a fly ball to right field. Playable for Bautista. That's his second out of the inning. Well, first inning amazing for the Red Sox tonight as they score 8 times in the first inning and some first inning feats. Most in an inning this season for the Red Sox. The 9 hits, the most in an inning this season. And the Red Sox started the game with 6 consecutive hits, which is a season high. So pretty amazing first inning tonight for Boston. First inning runs, most in a road game since 1994. That also was against the Toronto Blue Jays. In the first inning, the Red Sox scored 10 runs against Toronto. June of '94. Sandoval to left field, sending Valencia back. It'll take him to the track, but he makes the catch to end the inning. Red Sox down in order in the second, but have an 8-0 lead. Bottom of the second inning, Wade Miley back on the mound and looking back at the mound area where he appeared to slip a little bit, and deals with Chris Colabello here in the second inning with the Red Sox on top 8-0. Colabello lines one into center field. First Blue Jays hit of the night where Chris Colabello came in hitting at .335.
Yeah, he's got four at bats now against Miley. He's 2 for 4 against him now with a home run. You can't get enough runs against this Blue Jay team.
Lead runner on here for Toronto, first time tonight. There is Russell Martin. .262 with 11 homers and 37 runs batted in. Pick up that outside corner. Looked like he did, but it was called a ball.
Yep, looked like a good pitch there. That was missed by Davis, the home plate umpire.
Two and 0.
That's the first pitch of the at bat that should have been called a strike.
Colabello singling to begin this inning. Russell Martin ahead in the count now 3-0. And he will take strike one. 92. The fastball poured in there by Wade Miley. 3 for 12 in his career against Miley. 6 Ks and 12 at bats. And a walk here allowed by Miley. Second walk he's given up tonight. And first 2 Blue Jays have reached here in the second inning. Well, Sunday on NESN Clubhouse. Go inside the NESN announcing booth in Fenway Jobs. Jackie Bradley Jr. takes the hot seat. Red Sox small talk, plus stump your parents with some hot dog trivia. Catch it all Sunday at noon on NESN Clubhouse, presented by Delta Dental of Massachusetts.
Well, I can't wait to see that.
I think you already kind of saw it, though, didn't you?
Not the hook, not the finished product.
Danny Valencia standing in with 2 on, nobody out.
Plus, I couldn't hear your whole interview. I was up top while they were interviewing you, so.
The close pitch, but a little bit low. Valencia putting together a good season, especially against left-handers. He's the Blue Jays' leading hitter against left-handers with 380 coming in. And in there with Miley on the mound, and Blue Jays trying to chip away. It was an 8-run deficit right now, and there's a strike. Calabello at second base, Martin at first base, nobody out in the Blue Jays' second inning. 2-1. Miley's won 2 of his last 3 outings, and in each of those 3 outings going at least 6 innings. Last time out, a loss against Tampa Bay, going 6 1/3, only gave up 2 runs. This is struck well to center. Mookie Betts going back, and he leaps up to make the catch. He'll fire back towards the infield, and a good catch out at center field by Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts, I mean, one of the toughest plays for a center fielder is the ball that's directly over your head. And Betts tracks that ball pretty good. He actually backpedals a few steps. As you can see, the ball is directly over his head and then makes the leap and the catch. It sounded off a good off contact, and the play was even better.
Well, he appreciates the effort out there for the first out of this second inning. There's Kevin Pillar, the Blue Jays center fielder. Looks at strike 1. 276 average coming in. 6 homers, 35 RBIs. Foul down the right field line, out of play. Calabello singled to center to begin the inning. Martin walked. Valencia flies out to deep center field, but Mookie Betts back there to make the catch. Prior to the loss last time out, wins against Atlanta and Kansas City for Miley. To right, and that's going to get in for a base hit. Calabello will be stopped at third as De Aza gets it back to the plate quickly. And the base is now loaded with 1 out here for Toronto.
That's good hitting there by Pillar as he takes a pitch that's a pretty good pitch and away from him and just puts it on a line to the opposite field. Watch the location of this pitch. It's outside, and he just strokes it to the opposite field for the base hit. Down by 8 runs. They're not going to take any chances scoring that run from second base. There's the contact on the ball. It's probably maybe 3 or 4 inches off the outside part of the plate.
Now Devin Travis with a base hit into right field. Here comes Calabello to score. He'll get 1 run out of this. Throw back into the plate, and the Blue Jays are on the board. It's now 8-1. RBI single for Devin Travis.
2 to the opposite field. Pillar first and Travis on the very first pitch from Miley. Almost hit the run of Pillar as he was heading towards second base, but he was able to avoid it. right there, and the run comes in for the Blue Jays. Very quick visit to the mound for Kyle Willis.
Jose Reyes will be next year for the Blue Jays, the top of the Blue Jays order. Reyes grounded out to the shortstop Xander Bogaerts in the first inning. One out, bases loaded, a run in here for the Blue Jays in the second inning. Reyes will pop it up right side of the infield. Napoli backpedaling. And Napoli can't catch it. Infield fly rule in effect. So 2 down in the inning. Napoli could not make the catch with the infield fly rule in effect.
Well, that was certainly bizarre right there. I don't know if Napoli expected Holt to make the catch. He just didn't go far enough to his right to make the catch. But you can see the umpire clearly making the infield fly ruling. So the batter is out. Runners advance at their own risk.
And they did not advance, so base is still loaded. 2 down now in the inning. Josh Donaldson, a little nubber right in front of the plate last time up. Hannigan jumped out there alertly and threw him out at first base. 2-3 on the put out at first. 2-0. Two for 3 with the bases loaded this season for Donaldson. 51 RBIs on the year for him. Bases loaded here. Over the outside corner. That's a pitch he's not been getting, but he gets it there. 2-1. Donaldson has 1 career grand slam. Too far outside. Ball 4, and Miley walks in a run with his 3rd walk of the night, 2nd of the inning. It's now 8-2 as Martin comes from 3rd on the bases loaded walk.
Now, this is not exactly a great start here for Miley in this game, regardless of the score. I should say, especially with the score.
Jose Bautista has 1 of the 3 walks and came in the first inning. '18 for 85 with the bases loaded in his career. 4 grand slams. Pilar at 3rd. Travis at 2nd. Donaldson at 1st. Bautista 2 for 7 this year with the bases loaded and ahead 2-0. Miley having trouble finding the strike zone. Popped up, foul ground, that'll get out of play.
Batista's thinking about one thing here and making the score 8-6.
Two walks, 3 hits in the inning, and so far 2 runs for Toronto. Now ground ball into left field, a base hit. Pilar will score. Travis will score 2 more Blue Jays runs. And it's now 8-4. Red Sox on top. But here come the Jays.
Now they're right back in it very quickly.
A walk walks really hurting him in this inning.
Yeah, walks hurt him. Now the ground ball base hit. 2 more runs come in. 8-4 ball game, and we're only in the bottom of the 2nd inning. There's the ground ball past Sandoval at third base. No problem for Travis to score from second. The question I have is, who's the long man tonight in this game? Robbie Ross pitched 3 innings in the ball game yesterday.
Jonathan Arroyo went a while and he's gone.
He's been sent down. You'd have to guess Burns, right? I mean Barnes, excuse me.
Edwin Encarnacion batting here with 2 on and 2 outs. And how long would that be?
It could be for that long. He's not stretched out.
They are scurrying in the bullpen right now as Miley falls behind now 3-0. Not close. 4th walk given up by Miley, 3rd of this inning. And the bases are reloaded for Toronto.
There is action now just starting in the bullpen, and it is Barnes.
Blue Jays have batted around here in the 2nd inning. Chris Colabello started this inning with a single to center field. Takes strike 1. Rolls it over foul. 0-2 off his foot that time.
Mixes in a changeup that time and had Colabello off balance a little bit on that swing. Up in front of the changeup. Taps it in foul territory.
Bases loaded here for the Jays. 4 runs already in. On the ground, and Sandoval at third base will go to second for the force shot that ends the inning. But the Jays get 4 back against Miley. It's 8-4 Boston. For a night at Fenway Park to watch your beloved Red Sox. Visit redsox.com/groups for more information. The Red Sox jumping out to an 8-0 advantage. The Blue Jays answer with 4 runs. Wade Miley gives up 4 quick ones in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and now Mike Napoli leads it off here in the 3rd. More Liam Hendricks for the Jays here. Came in the 1st inning and has allowed only 1 run of his own, and has retired the last 4 Red Sox in a row. Napoli fouls that right off the mask of Russell Martin. DraftKings.com is paying out over $300 million this baseball season. DraftKings has given out $34 million to Boston residents alone since the site launched. Get your free entry into one-day fantasy baseball contest today using promo code NESSON. Napoli, De Aza, and Hannigan to bat here in the 3rd inning. On the ground to first base, gathered by Colabello, taking himself to the bag. 1 down.
It's interesting how games go, and all of a sudden, the people feeling the pressure in this game are the Red Sox. I mean, they jump out to an 8-0 lead. All of a sudden, within an inning, that's cut in half.
Yeah, momentum has definitely switched here tonight in Toronto, and Miley's inability to throw strikes top of that list. 4 walks in the first 2 innings, 3 of them coming in that 4-run 2nd. Fly ball to left center field off the bat of De Aza. Over is Valencia for the 2nd out. Ace Ticket has the best seats at the lowest prices to all the games at Fenway, all with a 200% guarantee. Right now, Ace Ticket has special savings on all Red Sox games, including the Yankees. Visit Ace Ticket or call 1-800-MY-SEATS. 2 outs here in the 3rd inning. Ryan Hannigan in his 2nd at bat since being reactivated. This is line foul. Hannigan, the only member of the Red Sox starting 9 not to reach base so far here tonight. And he'll take a pitch outside. 1-1 on the 60-day DL May 2nd after suffering the fractured right hand on May the 1st. 7 rehab games total for Hannigan. Strike 2. More action for the Blue Jays. Bo Schultz, who we've seen in this series, warming in the pen. On the ground up the middle for Hannigan. Ranging is Travis. His throw off the mark, but the tag applied by Colabello. Came off the bag and slapped it on Hannigan. 7 in a row retired by Hendricks.
They might look at this one.
See if they want to challenge this or not. The call on the field is out, and John Farrell trying to get confirmation as whether Colabello missed that tag or not.
Yeah, it looked like he got him.
Yep, on the jersey, and the Red Sox will not challenge, so that will end the inning. 7 in a row retired by Hendricks. It's 8-4. Russell Martin leading it off here in the Blue Jays' third inning. 8-4. Red Sox have the lead. Miley back on the hill. 56 pitches deep into his outing and trying to find his command here in this inning as it is popped up. First base way. Napoli makes the catch for the first out here of the third inning. Now, tonight's poll question is presented by Scion TC. Should replay reviews have a time limit? Text Sox 1 for yes. Text Sox 2 for no. Text your answer to 536-536. Message and data rates may apply. One message per vote. Visit NESN.com/terms for terms and conditions and privacy policy. I say yes.
I say no, because the whole idea of it is to get it right.
I just think you should have to have. I think, well, unless I get this confused, is that you have to decide whether or not you're going to challenge it in a more timely fashion.
Oh, yeah.
That's my point.
Oh, okay. I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So, like when John Farrell came out there and he made it, it was pretty quick that he determined he wasn't going to. There have been several we've seen. We've waited for the manager on the top step of the dugout a long time. I think there should be some sort of limit there.
I misread the question, and yeah, in that case, I probably agree with you. There's got to be maybe a better system. You know, the way they're doing it now, they're getting it from inside, obviously, from the video department. And that takes time to review a couple of replays and get it back to the dugout. But I don't know how you would quicken that up, to be quite honest with you, unless you're just making a decision on yourself as a manager in the dugout.
On the ground to third base, picked by Sandoval. Went to the backhand that time and makes a good, hard, accurate throw to get Valencia for the second out here of the third inning.
Well, if ever Miley needs a shutdown inning, it's right now, and maybe that can get him going in the right direction.
Kevin Pillar coming up. He's got a base hit. One of the 4 hits for the Blue Jays, all of them coming in that second inning. Line foul down the right field line, back into the seats.
We got a real race on this vote too. This race is really close. One of the closest ones we've had, Don. Quite a campaign you run.
Fly ball, right side. As Holt's calling, but look out. De Haza wants it too, but Holt will step in front of him and make the catch. A 1-2-3 inning from Miley through 3-8-4 Boston. People at easternbank.com/good things happen. Now David Ortiz with a 3-run home run as part of an 8-run first inning for the Red Sox. He and Hanley going back to back. Miley ran into trouble in the second, giving up 4 runs, but he bounces back, and it's 8-4 Red Sox. Bo Schultz becomes the 3rd Blue Jays pitcher of this contest. 9th appearance, 1.26 earned run average, 9 Ks, and opponent's hitting at 140 against him. That'll be strike 1 to Mookie Betts. Liam Hendricks ended up going 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run. Didn't walk anybody, nor did he strike anybody out. And he retired the last 7 Red Sox that he faced before leaving. Good job quieting down the Red Sox offense.
That's exactly the job. I mean, when the guys get beat up early in the ball game and somebody comes in there, you've got to try to stop the bleeding, and especially with these Blue Jays, because they can score so many runs. They're never really out of a game, and they've proven that again tonight by getting back into the game in the 2nd inning.
Strike to Betts evens the count. Mookie with 2 hits tonight, a single to left in the first, single to left in the first again as he batted twice. The Sox sent 12 men to the plate in the first inning. For every Red Sox game that goes into extra innings or the Sox get a save, CVS Pharmacy make a donation. The Children's Hospital towards a $25,000 commitment once again this season. CVS Pharmacy is the official pharmacy of the Boston Red Sox. Fouled off, still 2-2. Schultz into the game here for the Jays. He's not allowed to run over his last 11 to 3rd innings pitch, while holding opponents to 108 during that time. That's tried to hold up.
Russell Martin wanted that call bad. It was right at the top of the strike zone, and right now having a word or two with the home plate umpire Davis, not turning around, just talking to him.
Swing and a miss, and Betts strikes out. Schultz getting the first Blue Jays strikeout.
And we saw Schultz the other day in a ball game, and he looked very good. He's got good moving fastball, little tight breaking ball that's hard.
One out here in the 4th inning brings up Brock Holt. So Schultz's arsenal. Single to right in the 1st inning, and an infield hit in the 1st inning as well, so 2 for 2 in this game. Center fielder Kevin Pillar stepped towards left center. Strike 1. On deck, Xander Bogaerts. Red Sox batting here in the top half of the 4th inning. Strike 2.
That little cut fastball down and in that time from Schultz. Late break. Small cut.
On the ground down the first baseline. It's a fair ball. Colabello will flip at the last second, and it's not in time. Beating it out was Holt. Colabello flipping to Schultz covering, and he was tardy in arriving, and beating it out is Brock Holt.
Yeah, Colabello, he goes to make the flip, and then he decides that he's not going to do it, and that stopped Schultz. There's the hesitation, and then when Schultz saw that, it's almost like he slowed up, and by the time they got the flip to first base, it's too late to get Holt, who, to his credit, was hustling all the way down the line.
One out, one on, and Xander Bogaerts the batter. Breaks up a string of 8 in a row. Retired by Blue Jays pitching. And here's a base hit into center field for Bogaerts. Holt will take second base. And the Red Sox have 2 on with 1 out.
Now Xander jumps on that first. The fastball lines it hard to center field for the base hit. So the hustle base hit by Holt. And the line shot base hit by Bogaerts on the first pitch. Get the couple of men on for the Red Sox with 1 out.
Two on, 1 away. And David Ortiz, who hit a 3-run home run in the first inning, popped out to third base in the second inning. David getting home run number 14 of the year as part of the 8-run first inning. This was a 3-run shot. All part of the 7 runs given up by Matt Boyd, the starter tonight for the Jays. Well, David batting with 2 more men on here. Brock Holt at second. Xander Bogaerts at first. 1 out in the 4th inning. And a swing and a miss.
Pitch down out of the strike zone this time. Again, it's that cut fastball. And no contact by David Ortiz.
Inside, taken off for third is Holt. Kind of a late break, and he takes third. Not appear to be going right away. Kind of a delayed steal there. He saw the ball in the dirt. That's probably why he took off.
Let's take a look at Holt at second base. Yeah, you don't see that very often, do you? A delay steal of third base, and that was a good call now because he took a couple of crow hop steps, which froze everybody, including Martin and including the third baseman Donaldson. And then he just takes off. You know, I don't ever recall seeing that. A delay steal of third base.
Down and in, and David Ortiz will take the walk. Bases loaded now with 1 out.
That's a play to me, you know, and I'm including first base, obviously, that I don't think is used enough because you don't realize at second base or at shortstop, you know, how you immediately have to get your head back up to check that runner at first base because when you're focusing in on the pitch, you don't, you know, look at Donaldson. You're focusing on the pitch. You don't see that guy take off from second base. And so it's kind of always a rush at second base. And the time to do it, obviously, for a lot of people at first base is with 2 outs because that's when the infield's back. But I think that's the first time I've ever seen it done at third base.
Well, Hanley Ramirez taking the strike. Bases loaded, 1 out. Back in the day, we would see Jason Varitek do it from first base on occasion. Brian Daubach.
Yep.
From first base.
I think it's a great play, and I don't think it's used enough.
Inside out swing, fouling it off to the right. Hanley got his 16th home run of the year back in the first inning as Ortiz and Ramirez went back to back. Now batting with the bases loaded, 1 out here in the 4th inning. Holt at third, Bogaerts at second, Ortiz at first. Foul tip held on to by Russell Martin. Second strikeout for Schultz, 2 down.
A huge strikeout there for Schultz with the bases loaded and power at the plate. Back to the cut fastball. It stays up in the zone. A pretty good pitch to hit, but no contact by Hanley.
Lincoln Insurance, great service, great coverage, and a great price for auto, home, or life insurance. Bases loaded, 2 down. Now Pablo Sandoval coming up here for the Red Sox. Sandoval singled to right field in the first inning, flied out to the warning track in left field in the second. Now bats in the fourth with the bases loaded, 2 down. Strike one. Pablo, a 156 career hitter with the bases loaded, 1 grand slam. Fly ball down the left field line. Valencia and Donaldson giving chase, but neither will get there. Valencia ended up with the best opportunity. Didn't look like he was going full bore either.
No, I don't know what he was expecting, that ball was going to be out of play, but there's no way that he was running hard after this. Look at him.
He had a chance to make that play.
He should have been caught. That's a very poor attempt right there by Valencia.
John Gibbons not impressed. Another chance for Pablo. Fouls it off. Stays alive here, 0-2. And the fastball from Schultz. That one biting down and in. Bases filled with Red Sox, 2 down here in the fourth inning. Sandoval strikes out. Schultz ends up striking out the side. Red Sox leave them loaded. 8-4 Boston. Eight to 4. Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays into the bottom of the fourth inning. Devin Travis, number 9 man and second baseman for the Blue Jays. Single drive and a run in the second inning. Riley falling behind 2-0. Riley had a 1-2-3 third inning. There's a strike. Seemingly settling down in that third inning. After he faced 10 batters in the second, walked 3, gave up 3 hits and 4 runs very quickly to the Jays. And he falls behind here, 3-1. Line back where it came from and into center, right up over the head of Miley. Second hit for Travis of the night. At Eastern Bank, innovation doesn't just mean making life simpler. It means finding new technology that puts your needs first. See what's new at easternbank.com. Eastern Bank, your first. Lead runner on here for the Blue Jays. Back up top for Jose Reyes, who was 0 for 2 in this game. For the first, and back to the bag is Travis.
Trying to get the young player to bite on that great move by Miley.
Three pickoffs this year for Miley as Reyes takes the strike. Lead shorter, and Travis back to the bag quicker.
Yeah, any kind of move, he was heading back to first base.
On the ground to short and off the glove of Bogarts. He'll go to first. It'll be late. Thought he may be able to pick that in the air, but if one hops him and gets off his glove, then everybody's safe.
Yeah, almost like he should have played it in the air, and except he decided to kind of back off and play it on a hop, and thinking he was going to be able to get a double play. Take the out.
Charge with an error is Bogarts. 2 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Josh Donaldson, the batter.
Why do I feel so uncomfortable about this game? I mean,
I think you have every reason to feel uncomfortable about this game.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't start off that way.
No, felt very good after the first inning. Well, the other thing is, you like to say that this is the toughest part of the order coming up here for the Jays, but it's all tough all the way through. And you got Donaldson right now as Heath will take a strike, and Bautista and Encarnacion waiting behind him. It's time for tonight's Twist of the True Fact. Yesterday was the Blue Jays' 14th 10-run game of the season. Most of the season since 2009, and it came before the All-Star break. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. The real iced tea, it tastes like real iced tea. Be a little twisted. 2 on, nobody out here in the 4th. Travis at second, Reyes at first. Off the end of the bat, foul to the right, out of play. Especially there we had the bases loaded with 1 out in the top half of this inning, and the Red Sox could not score. Ramirez striking out, Sandoval striking out.
Exactly. You know, the Red Sox had a chance, even though they have the lead by 4 runs, to gain momentum back in this game by, you know, a big hit in the 4th inning, get a few more runs in. That did not happen. Now you get a couple of base runners with nobody out.
Don't forget the Blue Jays earlier this season on June 7th had a 9-run inning against Boston. On the ground left side, Bogarts will go to second for 1, on to first for 2. Well, big double play right there as Travis takes third base. Needed that.
At first, when I saw Bogarts feel like an underhand at the hole, I went, oh no, that's going to be too late. He was a long way from second base, but it all works out fine in the end as they get Donaldson at first base. That's a long way for an underhand flip to the second baseman right there, but it pays off in the end.
Travis at third, 2 down. Jose Bautista. '75th pitch here from Miley. And it'll miss for ball 1. Bautista's been on twice, a walk and a single. Drove in a pair with a single in the second inning. That's with Devin Travis at third base. 2-0. Fastball on the 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Ball 4, and he walks Bautista for the second time tonight. That is the 5th walk given up by Miley in this outing.
And Miley expected Bautista to have the green light because he threw him a 3-0 changeup.
This is a season high in walks for Miley. Previous high had been 4. First and third, 2 down. Edwin Encarnacion, the batter. Ball 1. Foul back, and it's a ball and a strike. Saturday on Dining Playbook, Jenny and Billy head to the Cape. They'll check out the Seacrest Beach Hotel, North Falmouth, as Billy visits a restaurant owned by a retired Bruins enforcer. Catch Dining Playbook Saturday morning at 9. First and third, 2 down. 2-1. Through 3 innings here against Toronto earlier this season, the Red Sox had an 8-1 lead, and the Blue Jays came back with that 9-run inning. And scored 12 unanswered runs in that game.
And this is not helping, continuing to fall behind hitters, walk hitters. 3-1 count now, and you know what Encarnacion's looking for? A fastball middle in.
Ball 4, back-to-back walks, 6 walks allowed by Miley. Nobody had been warming in the pen, but Willis now making his way to the mound. Imagine Barnes be back up again.
Yeah, phone just rang down in the bullpen, and looks like for the second time tonight, Barnes will be up, loosening up.
Most walks in his career in an outing is 7. He is up to 6 right now. Barnes back up as he was back in the second. But get immediate care without leaving the ballpark at the Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center First Aid Station, located behind Section 12 in the lower concourse. The IDMC is the official hospital of the Boston Red Sox. Travis at third base, Bautista at second, Encarnacion at first with 2 outs in the 4th inning, and Chris Colabello standing in. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Undoubtedly his dad, Lou Colabello, is here tonight watching him play again. Been here for the series.
Right now I wish Lou was hitting.
Chris coming in hitting at .335. 1 for 2 in the ball game tonight. A single in the second inning.
Trying anything, do anything to slow Miley up, as you can see. Stepping out, calling timeout.
Fouls it off. 0-2.
Back-to-back changeups to Calabello.
Blue Jays have the bases loaded with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Calabello asking for time.
I think it was Hannigan that time. He put some signs down that he didn't like.
Still doesn't like him.
It's Hannigan himself upset with himself for not making the right call.
Swing and a miss. Worked out to be the right call right there. They strike out Calabello. Blue Jays leave them loaded. It's 8-4 Red Sox at the end of 4. He's 5 hits, 4 runs. He's walked 6, struck out a batter, 86 pitches. And Miley getting out of that jam as he strikes out Calabello, and that is just the first strikeout of the night for Wade Miley after 6 walks. As Mike Napoli leads it off here in the top half of the 5th inning. Mike has walked and grounded out to first base. Schultz out there to begin the inning as Todd Redmond warming up now for the Jays. Their starter did not record an out tonight. Napoli off the end of the bat fouls that down the right field line. Alejandro De Aza and Ryan Hannigan to bat here in the 5th. On the ground at third, tough hop, backing up on it is Donaldson. Plants and throws to get Napoli.
You never like to be in that position where you're backing up, but on a artificial surface, sometimes it makes it a little bit easier because you know you're pretty much going to get a true hop. On a dirt infield, not the case. Donaldson backing up a couple of steps and then has plenty of time to throw to first base to get Napoli.
One out in the fifth inning for De Aza. He tripled in the first inning and drove in 2 runs. Acted like it was in tight, but almost picked up the zone. 2-0. Schultz coming in to begin the fourth inning. Got into a bases loaded 1-out jam, but got himself out of it. Bases loaded 1-out. He struck out Hanley Ramirez and struck out Pablo Sandoval. Now an 8-game hitting streak for De Aza with his triple in the first inning. 444 along the 8-gamer. Same spot, down and in, 2-2.
That cut fastball's nasty from Schultz. You'll see it right here again as it buries itself inside to De Aza.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's the 4th strikeout for Schultz. 2 down here in the 5th inning.
Then he comes back and uses it for a strikeout pitch. So he has certainly done a nice job since coming in this game.
Two down here in the 5th inning for Ryan Hannigan. In his return tonight, 0 for 2. He's popped out to second base, grounded out to second. Schultz wanted it, didn't get it. On the ground to shortstop. Reyes plays the high hop. And a bad throw. It gets away and Hannigan will reach. So Reyes had plenty of time with Hannigan running to get it there, but he throws it away.
Error number 6 on the season for Reyes at shortstop. He gets a nice big high hop. Little sidearm flip to first base, but Colabello can't come up with it. Error will go on Reyes for the throw that's going to bounce. And the reaction by Schultz is a little bit of disbelief.
Well, the miscue gives Mookie Betts a chance now with 1 on, 2 outs. Most pitches thrown in a game by Schultz is 43 out of the bullpen here for the Blue Jays. He's at 38 right now. Fly ball down the right field line for Mookie Betts. That ball is bending foul. H.B. Hood salutes the Red Sox Foundation for its commitment to 4,900 accredited charities throughout New England. And again, reaching on the 2-out error by Jose Reyes. On the ground, foul. Mookie Betts with 2 hits tonight, both singles to left, both coming in the first inning. Fouls it off to the right, protecting the plate. 94 on that fastball from Schultz.
It's a wide range on his fastball. His cutter can be 91. That fastball was 94, and he threw a sinking fastball last inning to strike out Sandoval at 97.
Turned into a bullpen game tonight for the Jays. Their starter did not record an out. To right field, on the move is Bautista. Almost lost it on the light back, but he makes the catch basket style somehow to end the inning. Fifth inning, Wade Miley back out there. 4 runs in the second. Walked 6 in this game, struck out 1. 6, 7, and 8 for the Blue Jays here in the 5th. And Russell Martin leading it off. Martin has walked and scored and popped out to first. Bounce in. Miley kind of looking back on the landing area.
That's a pitch that he really hasn't had going for him tonight, is that breaking ball of his. It's basically been fastball, having trouble finding the strike zone, and changeup. That third pitch, the curveball, has kind of been not there for him. There's the changeup again. Keeps that changeup away. Good one that time, and no contact by Russell Martin. One more time.
On the ground to third base. Sandoval gets up. His throw will be not in time. Martin beats it out.
That's Sandoval going to that third base line, and then he spins around. You can see double clutched. He could not get the ball out of his glove cleanly, and that's what cost him at first base. It's a good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Are they going to have a challenge?
Yep. Farrell's
okay.
challenging.
Okay. But you can see that when he went to grab the ball out of his glove, he couldn't get a good grip on it at first. It took him another second to get a grip on it, and that's why we got a challenge at first base. Hard to tell from that angle because the glove of Napoli was a little bit blocked by his leg. Take another look.
Ooh. He's out.
Might be out. I'm going to go with the out call, Don.
Yep. on that look. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm throwing it out there.
John Farrell looking on the big board here. Now that look, he looks out.
Yeah, that's the best look that we have, and that's the
now
one.
he is.
He is out. Oh, nice call, Doc.
Russell Martin retired 5-3.
I just call whatever you call now.
Well, coming up after the third out of this inning, we'll have stats, facts, and fantasy numbers from around Major League Baseball. So be sure and stay with us. One down here in the fifth. Danny Valencia standing in here for the Blue Jays, 0 for 2. Valencia flying out to deep center and grounding out to third, and the recipient of strike one.
And that's the curveball. That would be a huge help to Miley if he could get that going. Another one that misses that time up and away.
Apologize for some difficulties we're having technically from Toronto tonight. Two balls, two strikes here to Danny Valencia. 0 for 2. And a bounce in for ball 3. Full count. Valencia batting now. Pilar waiting on deck. Bouncing in, and this ties a career high for Miley in walks. 7 walks in this outing for Miley. Last time he did that was a member of the Arizona Diamondbacks, April 27th of 2013 against Colorado. He's done it tonight in a Red Sox uniform. First one down, Kevin Pilar, the batter. Pilar tonight has singled to right and popped out to second base. Strike called. Straightened up Pilar, but grabs that inside corner. On the ground and by the dive, and Sandoval at third base into left. First and second with one out. Base hit for Kevin Pilar, his second of the night.
Pilar, who has a tendency to chase pitches that are up in the zone, finds one that's about belt high that time and takes it very quickly down the third base line by Sandoval.
Two on, one away for Devin Travis, a number 9 man who has 2 hits tonight off Miley. Single to right, single to center. Swinging a foul tip for strike one. Now Alexia Gondo is up for the Red Sox. Saw Barnes get up more than once in the Red Sox pen in this game, but has moved deeper into the game. It is now Gondo who's up. Up the middle into center field. Valencia being waved around. Here's a throw from Betts, and it will be in time. Thrown out at the plate is Valencia. And John Gibbons coming out of the dugout here for the Jays.
It looked to me like Hannigan with his left leg blocked the play.
And of course, you're not allowed to do that unless you have the ball.
Here's the base hit up the middle, and what a throw by Mookie Betts in center field. Now watch Hannigan slide that foot across home plate, and I think Valencia, I'm not sure he tagged it. I think he went right over it. I'm not sure he got home plate with the hand. That's very difficult to tell.
You know what, though? He called him out. And Hannigan never tagged him.
I know, and then Hannigan, Miley was telling him to tag him again. Right. He went back to tag him again. But I'm not sure that Valencia ever got home plate with his hand. Wow, that's a weird play. And as far as blocking home plate with his leg, I don't believe Hannigan got that leg out there until he had the baseball in his hand.
Yeah, no, I think he did
in
it
his
right.
glove. I think he did it right also. The catch, the foot goes out. Does the hand touch home plate? That is the key in this call right here. And I got to tell you, Davis was in very good position to see that. The home plate umpire.
You agree with me, though? Hannigan never tagged him, right?
I would agree with that, yeah.
Okay,
but
because he calls him out.
He calls him out.
Right here.
Yeah.
He's calling him out after this. It's not when he goes to run to get him. He's calling him out right there.
He called him out on the, the first effort right there. Fortunately, Hannigan does go back and tag him at the directions of Miley. But the only question I have on this, did his hand get any of the play?
The look we're seeing on the big screen here, it looks like it may have. This may tell us a little bit here on this one from on top.
Yeah, but that's on top. I mean, he could be 6 inches off the plate from that camera angle. This is a better one. I think he was by it. He might have been by home plate.
Warming up his Miley while they take a good long look at this, trying to determine whether or not to touch the plate.
I mean, I think this is the best angle we have of it right here. And they've made a decision. Let's see what it is.
He is out.
John Gibbons can't come out and argue this, can he?
He cannot. Again, we apologize for some technical difficulties we've had tonight from Toronto. John Gibbons arguing this play here at the plate. And you know, one of the things, Jerry, is that it appears on that look that when Davis called him out, Hannigan had not touched him yet. I know he missed the plate.
Right.
But when Davis called him out, he wasn't out. Because Hannigan never touched him.
I agree 100% with you.
I bet you that's what Gibbons is arguing.
He probably is right now. He's been thrown out of the game. There's no question about that. But you're right, Don. You know, the first attempt by Hannigan, he got air, and so did Valencia. He didn't get home plate. So then Hannigan went back at the directions of Miley and tagged him, and I think that's why they're calling him out now. And that's why Gibbons came out of the dugout, and he's been tossed.
Valencia thrown out at the plate, as it turns out. And it's first and second now for the Blue Jays.
Mookie Betts picks up his 6th assist of the season from center field.
Jose Reyes with a swing and a foul tip for strike one.
There's a look from the side, and you can see Valencia slowing up, and then he's waved on by Luis Rivera, the third base coach. I don't think he expected to be waved on.
Reyes down 0-2. Grounded out, popped out, reached on an error. Swing and a miss, and Miley strikes out Reyes. Let's take a look at the Red Sox box score. Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. 8-4, Red Sox have the lead over the Blue Jays.
Probably the most, definitely the most controversial play of the game is a very, very strange one. A base hit back up the middle. Mookie Betts charging hard, makes a throw home, and the call is going to be out at home. But as we saw on replay, Hannigan didn't touch the runner. The runner didn't touch home plate apparently, and then Hannigan came back after and tagged him. But the umpire called him out on the original play. And the home plate umpire is Davis.
John Gibbons gets ejected from the game. Manager for the Jays as Valencia thrown out at the plate. The ruling by the umpires. And it is Brock Holt leading it off here in the 6th inning against the new Blue Jays pitcher. And the ejection here of John Gibbons, debating that.
Well, the bottom line is, in all of this, is that it appears they got it right. Even though on the second attempt, he missed the first call.
Davis got it wrong. But they got it right.
But they got it right at the end because of replay.
Does Valencia do anything differently though if he's not told he's out at that point?
Well, the only time he headed back to the home plate was when Miley told Hannigan
he was out at that point.
Exactly.
So he wouldn't even try to go back because he's out.
Exactly.
According to the home plate umpire. So
that's
does he do something differently if this call is right, which is not right there?
Yeah, I mean he's right there, and he gets called out. He knows he's out.
I'm out. Now I'm going to try to go back.
That only because he saw the picture. Tell him what a crazy play.
Swing and a miss for Holt, and Brock will strike out for the first out of the 6th inning. Aaron Luke just into the game here for the Jays.
And that's why Gibbons came back and argued the point, and just the point that you made, that Valencia thought he was out. But eventually they got to play right.
One bid here by Xander Bogaerts with 1 out. Two hits here for Bogaerts in the game tonight. Single to center in the first, single to center in the 4th inning. In there for a strike, 2-1. Aaron Luke, the 4th Blue Jays pitcher of the game, and there's a liner into left field. Xander Bogaerts has his 3rd hit of the game as Valencia gets it back in. Wide turn, and Bogaerts has to dive back into the bag at first, and may have hurt himself in doing so. He was halfway to second base and then went diving back to the bag at first. Ball was dropped by Travis. No chance to get him, but Xander holding his shoulder as he gets up.
Yeah, right shoulder too, his throwing shoulder. Here's Bogaerts doing what he should do, hustle around first base, puts the brakes on, then has to dive back, and that's where he hurts himself. You see how he made an awkward head first slide on his right shoulder back to the bag. Looks like he's going to be okay, though, as he remains in the ball game.
A 3-hit game of the year for Xander Bogaerts at first with 1 down. He joins Holt with 3 hits in the game tonight. Ortiz, strike 1. David has hit a 3-run home run tonight, popped out to 3rd and walked. Into the shift on the right side for the Blue Jays. They keep it tight near to the infield. With a double play possibilities with 1 out and 1 on. Fouled off, 0-2.
Talk about a game that's got no flow to it.
No. Tomorrow at 5:30, don't miss Friday Night Fenway, presented by Budweiser. TC will have an exclusive interview with John Farrell. Remember to join Budweiser at Who's On First for every Red Sox home game in July for a chance to be selected as the Budweiser fan of the game. Budweiser, brewed the hard way. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds.
Houston Astros in town for the weekend. Looking forward to seeing them.
Broken back grounder right side. A bobble, but they still have time to get Ortiz. And racing to cover 3rd base. Everybody, the catcher, Martin Donaldson, heading over there as well because they looked up. Nobody was at 3rd. Able to get Ortiz for the 2nd out. A bobble there for Travis and a chance for 2.
Yeah, that's a break for the Red Sox because that should have been a double play right there to end this inning. He looked up to it. He's making every motion to throw to second base and flip the ball to second base before he caught the baseball. And that cost him a deuce. So the Red Sox got a man on second base in scoring position with 2 outs because of the misplay by Travis, the second baseman.
Two down, Bogaerts at second base. Hanley Ramirez the batter. 1 for 3 with a home run back in the 1st inning. strike called. Hanley didn't like it. Evens the count 1-1.
A good pitch on the inside part of the plate. Hanley jumping back, but you see that it gets the corner.
Seven-game hitting streak down for Hanley with that home run back in the first inning. Sent on a fly out to right and a strikeout. Bogarts at second, 2 down here in the 6th inning. Lupa has given up 6 earned runs in his last 4 1/3 innings pitched. A ground ball that is a foul ball. And the foul ground again. It is Donaldson to call foul.
I'm a little surprised they're not walking Ramirez in this situation with first base open because Sandoval's on deck. Sandoval, you know, not hitting a lot against left-handed pitching so far, and I thought they may take that to percentage, but they're not. They're pitching to Ramirez, so let's see how it works out.
On the outside corner for strike 3, not a strike. Called strike 3. Red Sox lead Bogarts at second base. Have an 8-4 lead. Will highlight the 1975 Red Sox in honor of their 40th anniversary. Their 81st game of the 75 season. Red Sox beat the Twins 6-3. Jim Rice went 1 for 3 with a home run and 3 RBIs for the Sox. Bottom of the 6th inning, 8-4. Red Sox have the lead. Did he go? Yes, he did, says Tony Randazzo. Giagondo. His 34th appearance of the year, 2-0, 2.88 earned run average, 25 strikeouts, 11 walks. Opponents hitting at 210 against Agondo. Takes over for Wade Miley, who goes 5 innings and didn't look like for a while he was going to get out of the 2nd inning. But Miley ends up going 5. 2, 3, and 4 in this inning for the Jays. Donaldson, Bautista, and Encarnacion. In the air to shallow right. DeYazu is pretty deep, but has plenty of time to get in for the first out of the bottom of the 6th inning. Don't miss WB Mason Extra Innings Live right after the game. TC Eck and Steve Lyons will break down the game. You'll hear from John Farrell, whatever, whenever, wherever. Who but WB Mason? Down for Jose Bautista. He was walked, singled, and walked again. His single in the 2nd drove in a pair. RBIs 54, 55 on the year. So he takes strike 1. Gondo last worked in game 2 of the series on Tuesday night here in Toronto. Inning in a 3rd scoreless. Now 12 consecutive scoreless.
Yeah, Gondo was big in that game for the Red Sox. Went right through the heart of the order to get an important 8th inning out of the way for the Red Sox.
Steve Delabar up for the Jays. They've already used 3 relievers in this game. Good swing there from Bautista. Fouled back. Line on Miley tonight. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. He walked a career high, tying a career high 7, and struck out 2.
What's that all about? Well, they want to check the baseball. Bautista wanted to check the baseball. Davis wouldn't do it. Then Bautista kind of waved at him and said, well, the heck with it. Now they check it and it's okay. That was a brand new baseball they threw out there, too.
A defensive swing by Bautista ends up on the ground. The ball ends up foul down the right field line.
Oh, this is weird night tonight. I mean, this is beyond bizarre. How about that swing?
It was running up towards his face.
That's supposed to be a slider away. It's a slider in his neck.
One-two pitch. Fly ball center field. That's going back. We'll have the room on the warning track. Makes the grab, 2 down. Towards the end of the bat for Bautista. He's out number 2.
I've seen a couple of things that I haven't seen in this game tonight. And one was the delayed steal of third base by Brock Holt. I can't remember ever seeing that as a broadcaster. And I don't think it was a play. I don't think I've ever seen a guy asked to check a baseball that just came out of the umpire's bag.
Didn't trust it. Edwin Encarnacion has flied out to left and walked twice. Two for 12. That's Gondo in his career. Maybe he felt that Gondo did something with it once he got it. Framed there by Hannigan, would call the ball 2-0. Donaldson flying out to right to begin the inning. Bautista to center. 2 down here in the 6th inning. There's a strike. 3-1. Ball 4, close pitch. Gondo doesn't get it. It's a 2-out walk for Encarnacion. 8th walk allowed by Red Sox pitching in the game. So 2 down. Encarnacion at first base, and Chris Colabello the batter. Singled to center in the second. And shot a fielder's choice in the second and struck out in the fourth. Strike one. Napoli holding on Encarnacion at first base with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. Oh, and 2.
Kind of velocity that Agondo had the other night. 95 to 97 with his fastball. This last one 95 inside to Colabello.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Colabello. We are through 6 with the Red Sox on top 8-4. Live, a Red Sox final presented by Uno's. TC Eck and Steve Lyons will have highlights from around Major League Baseball. Steve Delabar, the new pitcher here for the Blue Jays, takes over for Aaron Loop. Delabar's 22nd appearance, 2-0, 1.31 earned run average. Well, it's hitting at just 145 against Delabar. As Pablo Sandoval bats here in things in the 7th inning. Sandoval single to right, flied out to the warning track in left, and struck out. Fly ball deep and far to right, but a foul ball. Up into the top deck. Line to right field, and a base hit for Sandoval. Quickly by Bautista. Sandoval will stop at first base as Bautista get it back in pretty quickly. Leadoff single for Sandoval. It's time for Game Break, brought to you by Jordan's, the furniture store of the Boston Red Sox. All right, Tom, thanks very much. Back here at the Rogers Center in Toronto. The Red Sox are holding on to an 8-4 lead. All the scoring taking place tonight in the first 2 innings. Red Sox scoring 8 times in the first. The Blue Jays 4 times in the second. Red Sox have had their chances, as have the Blue Jays since that point. Austin leaving the bases loaded in the 4th inning. Blue Jays leaving them loaded in the 4th inning as well. 2 men on in the 5th. Napoli on the ground, but foul. Napoli tonight has walked and scored and grounded out to first and grounded out to third. 1 for 8 in his career against Delabar. And Sandoval has led off the top of the 7th inning with a base hit to right. Ball got behind Martin briefly, but Sandoval remains at first.
As Sandoval on that base hit that ran to the wall, I mean, he hit it so hard that he was just about getting to first base when it hit the wall. And of course, with Batista's got a great arm out there in the outfield, and you don't want to test that. So that's why that just remained a single. And Sandoval going around first base, and you look up and Batista's got that ball already coming back in. Nope, I'm going to stay at first.
Napoli takes strike 3. Knew it. Takes with him the first strikeout for Delabar. 1 down.
Fastball right down the middle of the plate, and Napoli just watches it go by. It's a good pitch. No arguing from Napoli on that one.
One on, 1 out. Alejandro De Aza coming up. Triple to drive in 2 in the first inning. Fly to left and struck out swinging. $29,758 on hand here today. 29,758. Not smaller than the 48 we had here yesterday as part of Canada Day. Day baseball from Toronto. Swing and a miss, gets away from Martin and up to second base. Sandoval's going to try and get there, and he will. That first slide into second base. Wild pitch charged to Delabar.
Well, the pitch from Delabar was nasty. I think it might have been a split-fingered fastball that is down and bounces, and Sandoval, once he realized that, is able to take off and get in a scoring position at second base. There you see the pitch bouncing as he gets to home plate, and instead of trying to block it, it looked to me like Martin tried to backhand it, and it got away from him. There's the backhanded attempt right there by Martin. Instead of blocking that ball, if he blocks it, there's a chance it goes out in front of him. Sandoval's still at first base.
Well, this one gets to the backstop. Kind of yanked it down, and the third base goes Sandoval. Back-to-back wild pitches now.
Yeah, free little trip around the bases here for Sandoval. Now the infield comes in for the Blue Jays. Tries that same pitch again, bouncing it. Back-to-back pitches in the dirt. That was the first one, and of course the second one back to the backstop.
Infield in, De Aza with a swing and a miss. And that time having to block it again is Russell Martin sprawling to his right.
Martin's been a little busy on the last 3 pitches, hasn't he?
Sure has.
That was a slider down and in that time, and that time a good job blocking it with the man at third base.
On the ground to first, and a tough hop through into right field. From third comes Sandoval. The Red Sox take a 9-4 lead. Throw to second, and Diaz is safe at second base. So the Red Sox add their run total score for the first time since the first inning. And a couple of wild pitches, a problem, and now they've charged Colabello at first base with an error on this play.
Yeah, I was wondering, if that ball hit one of the seams where the dirt and the artificial surface meet. It's hard to tell, but right up over the glove of Colabello at first base. So after the free trip around the bases for Sandoval, he scores on the error.
Now Ryan Hannigan looking for his first hit in his return. Foul off to the right for strike one. Well, tonight after Red Sox coverage on NESN Sports Today, Adam Pellerin and Nicky Reyes get you caught up on the latest moves by the Celtics and Bruins. That's tonight on NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. See what know-how can do. Diaz at second base with one out. That'll get away. Back up into the seats, and third base for Diaz.
I don't know, man. Must have got up on the wrong side of the bed today or something. I don't know. This game's crazy. I mean, how many wild pitches can you throw?
This is a third of this inning.
Infield comes in again. See, I got up. I moved to my right. I usually do that. Yeah, I got up on the right side.
Same side as you always do?
Yeah.
Look out. Hannigan very late to react to that fastball. It was up and in.
Almost got him on that left shoulder.
Delabar had only 2 wild pitches coming into this game tonight. He's got 3 in this inning.
Yeah, he might have another one in him. I'll tell you, if he throws that splitter again, he might bounce it because he hasn't come close with that pitch.
And he walks Hannigan.
There's been plenty of this inning, that's for sure. Balls bouncing all over the place. And a gift inning for the Red Sox, really, with all these wild pitches and an error at first base.
First and third with one out, a run in for Boston here in the 7th inning. And Mookie Betts, 2 hits in the game, both of them coming in the first inning. As he fouls it off to the right, both singles, both to left field.
They see the positioning by the middle infield is what they're doing right now. If they don't think they can get a double play, and it's going to be difficult with Betts, they've got to come home with the ball. If the ball's hit hard right at them, then they get the double, and then they can think they can get the double play. They try for it. So it's a decision you've got to make snap judgment on. And I hated that position. I really did.
Leaves too much thinking for you?
Yeah, I wanted one or the other. Either you're back for 2
right,
or you're in to get the guy at the plate. Now it looks like with 2 strikes, they're going to come all the way in. They've changed it. So they're all the way in now, and they're certainly going for the play at home.
On the ground, and that'll find its way into right field. From third base comes Diaz, and the Red Sox take a 10-4 lead. Third hit of the night for Mookie Betts as he drives in a run.
Well, Betts couldn't have rolled out any better than what that thing ended up doing. I mean, just a little slice with the infield in, gets it past Travis at second base. The run scores. And it looks like, I don't know if Delabar's going to come out of here, but Pete Walker, the pitching coach, is going to have a little conversation with him anyway.
And Brett Cecil up in the pen right now, do the Jays. They're going to stick with him right now as back to the dugout goes Pete Walker. And was John Gibbons ejected from this game earlier. Marlo Hale, his bench coach. assuming the managing role right now as Brock Holt, the batter, with 2 on and still 1 out in the inning. There's DeMarlo, his former Red Sox coach and minor league manager in the Red Sox system. Fly ball down the left field line. Valencia giving chase, so's Donaldson, and neither will get there. Did you miss the series that changed the lives of some lucky student filmmakers? Catch a marathon of Nesson Next Producers Saturday at 5:30. Red Sox have 2 runs here in the 7th inning. And again at second, Betts at first. Fouled off, 0-2. Last 18 games, Delabar had allowed 2 earned runs. He's given up 2 earned runs in this inning so far. One-two pitch to Holt, and this one fouled off the home plate umpire. Reaction here for Blue Jays fans.
That's pretty tight.
This is a shot off Jerry Davis's mask or shoulder, really.
Yeah. Wow. Unless the Blue Jays saw the manager get thrown out of a game. And Blue Jay fans, they look at Davis, just kind of looking at everybody.
Challenging the entire crowd.
Yeah, are you kidding me?
All 29,758 of you.
This is crazy. This whole thing's crazy.
Fouled off over by the Red Sox dugout.
Yeah, Davis. It's like Davis wanted to throw everybody out of here. Get out of here.
Fouled off to the left by Holt. Still 1-2. We'll see his 7th pitch in this at bat. For the dramatic for Brock Holt. 3:44 in the 7th inning or later. Back to Delabar. He'll go to first base. Delabar wasn't sure how many outs there were. He could have had a double play.
He thought this was going to be the last out of the inning.
As he goes to first base, and now runners are at second and third. Let's take a closer look at tomorrow's starting pitchers. Justin Masterson against Dan Straley. Closer look brought to you by FW Web, the expertise solutions. More at FWWeb.com.
You see that right last play again as Delabar's got to leave the game, and probably a good idea for him tonight because just wasn't his night. Last play, watch Delabar as he makes his play. He doesn't even look to second base. He's just going to first, and then he turns around and starts to head toward the dugout and realizes nobody else is going in the dugout. So he's got another out to get. Delabar's reaction is there. I finally got the 3rd out. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to walk to the dugout. Except, no, you don't have 3 outs. No, you really don't have 3 outs yet.
Only have 2.
You've got 2.
And now, the situation where the Red Sox have second and third with 2 outs as they make the change. the Blue Jays will move on to pitch number 6 of this game.
I was going to say, Don, put a tent on this surface, circus, but there already is a tent. The tent's open tonight.
Open tonight. Send it down to Garen.
Thanks, Don. 8-year-old Billy Daw is a huge Clay Buchholz fan. Buchholz has handed Daw a ball here in Toronto every year for the past 3 years in a row. Ever since the first ball, Daw has been Buchholz's #1 fan. He carries the Clay Buchholz doll and he wears his Red Sox jersey backwards, so Buchholz is in the front. You can't imagine the look on his face when he got to meet Buchholz before the game today. Daw's dad said it gave him chills that Buchholz took the time to meet his son, and Billy Daw said it was the best day ever.
That's great. And Clay, who does so much in the community as well in Boston, getting ready for the Buchholz Bowl soon as well. And happy young fan here in Toronto as Brett Cecil's into the game here for the Blue Jays. With runners at second and third, 2 down, and Xander Bogaerts takes a breaking ball for strike 1. 3 hits in the game for Xander tonight. All singles. Cecil's 30th appearance, 2-4 with a 5.19 earned run average. When it's hitting at 250 against him. On the ground slowly towards third. Donaldson racing in and is off the bare hand. Run scores. Ryan Hannigan coming in, and the Red Sox grab their 11th run on top, 11-4.
And the 4th hit of the night for Xander Bogaerts. 4 hits, 2 RBIs. Third 4-hit game of the season for Bogaerts. Feeling a little better about things now, Don.
Things are improving.
Yes, things were not good for a while, and I think they're getting better.
A run charge to Delabar, so far touch for 3, responsible for Betts at third base. As David Ortiz bats. Going to the shift on the right side. And Ortiz fouls it off to the left.
I think, you know how they have these signs, like when you come out of the dugout sometimes, you know, and the college teams tap them. They ought to, I think from what we've seen on this road trip between St. Pete and here, where they say there's 3 outs in an inning, that should be a sign to let everybody know, because the Red Sox have got twice.
Yes. There's been some confusion as to how many outs there are.
It seems to be, yeah. There's 3 in an inning.
David 1 for 3 tonight. Hit a 3-run home run back in the first inning. His 14th home run of the year. Eighth member of the Red Sox to bat here in the 7th. Rolls it over foul. And Ramirez waiting on deck. On the ground right side, Reyes to his left. Throws out Ortiz and ends the inning. Red Sox tack on 3 more runs, take an 11-4 lead at 7th inning stretch from Toronto. Baseball in Nesson is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Tonight's game summary is brought to you by Xfinity. Wade Miley, pitcher of record right now for the Red Sox. 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs. Red Sox with 2 home runs in this game. Ortiz and Ramirez went back-to-backs, part of an 8-run first inning. And a big game also for Xander Bogaerts, a 4-hit performance in this game. Boyd didn't get anybody out for the Blue Jays, their starter, and charged with 7 runs. Let's see Gondo back out there for his second inning of relief. And as he begins this inning, there is action in the Red Sox pen. Also Martin, the first batter that he faces here after working the 6th inning. Tommy laying the action in the pen for Boston. Martin has walked, popped out to first, and grounded out to third base. Foul back, 1-2.
A couple of tweets between innings about how many outs there are in innings, and I mean, they make a good point. There really are 6 outs in an inning. Full it.
Top half and the bottom half.
Yeah.
I get you. I follow.
So the craziness continues.
On the outside corner for strike 3. Able to get Martin. Second strikeout for Gondo. Martin didn't think so.
Slider that time. Redondo started him with fastballs, puts him away with a breaking ball. It's a good one too, right on that outside corner. Almost unhittable pitch for Martin right there.
One out here in the 7th inning for Danny Valencia. Roberto Osuna, the closer for the Blue Jays, up in the pen right now. So I had to close any games in this series. One out here in the bottom of the 7th. And Valencia lines this into left center field. Hanley cuts it off, spins and fires back in, and Valencia held to a single with one out here in the bottom of the 7th. His first hit of the night. Set sail on the Boston Bruins Foundation Harbor Cruise on July 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Enjoy live music and dancing with Bruins alumni, ice girls, and special guests. Get your tickets now. Proceeds go to the 2015 Bruins Foundation Hand Mask Challenge team. One out Valencia at first base, and Kevin Pillar coming up. Pillar has singled to right, popped out to second, and singled to left. Strike one over the inside corner. Pillar didn't think so. Got his arms out of the way, and Jerry Davis calling it a strike. Foul back and below us. 0-2.
They call the first one a strike, so Pillar in the second one in almost the same location, this time swings at it because he felt that probably would have been called a strike too.
Barnes now up in the Red Sox pen. He had been up back in the 2nd inning, in the 4th inning as well. Now he's up here in the 7th inning. Line to center, that's a base hit. Back-to-back hits here now for the Blue Jays.
Pilar's had a big night. 3 hits from the bottom of the batting order, the 8th spot. And Travis is coming up now. He's got 3 hits. He's 3 for 3. That was a slider that time from Agondo that Pilar takes up the middle for the hit.
1 out, 2 on. Devin Travis is coming up. He's got 3 hits in the game. Single to right, single to center again. So the 8-9 men with 6 hits. There's strike 1. Fastball at 95 for Agondo. Runs it too far inside that time. Has been in since the 6th inning. He's got an inning and a third so far. He's given a back-to-back base hits to Danny Valencia and Kevin Pillar here in the 7th. Now heading out is Hannigan to talk to him. Well, tomorrow at 6, don't miss Red Sox first pitch, presented by Joseph Abood, available at Men's Warehouse. CC and Jim Rice preview the Red Sox next series against the Astros. Houston on top of the American League West heading into today's game. 5 games better than the Angels. 47 wins on the season for the Astros.
Astros come to town over the weekend with good pitching, good defense, a home run hitting ball club, speed. They lead the American League in stolen bases. They lead it in home runs. 3rd in the league in runs scored.
To center, Betts coming in, and Mookie will run in to make the grab for the 2nd out of the inning. More advance for the base runners. Jose Reyes coming up here with 2 down, 2 on. Is 0 for 4 in the game. Blue Jays as a team with 9 hits. Red Sox out hitting them 15-9. Reyes did get on base. He reached on an error committed by Bogaerts back in the 4th inning. Swing and a miss for strike 1. Back out goes Hannigan again.
He might have got crossed up, man, at second base that time. It was a slider from Agondo. And there's a chance that Hannigan might have got crossed up, and they're going over the signs, make sure they're on the same page. Setting up away, the breaking ball down and in, and fortunately, if he got crossed up, it was on the breaking ball. He had time to react to it.
Tried to hold up and did, according to Phil Cuzzy, 3rd base umpire. Swing and a miss. Coming up after the third out of this inning, we'll have more stats, facts, and fantasy updates from around Major League Baseball. So stay with us. Swing and a miss, and Reyes strikes out to end the inning. The Blue Jays strand a pair. Let's take a look at that updated Red Sox box score. Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Your local Subaru dealers. And by Sullivan Tire and Auto Service. Thank you, New England, for 60 great years. Back at the Rogers Center in Toronto, where the Red Sox have an 11-4 lead. They bagged up 15 hits in the game, and Blue Jays moving on now to their 7th pitcher of the game. Their closer, Roberto Osuna, into the game. 34th appearance, 1 and 2 with a 2.02 earned run average. And save opportunities 2 out of 3. He's taken over the job, and opponents hitting at 175 against Osuna. Which means all they have left in the pen is Redmond. As Hanley Ramirez leads it off here in the top half of the 8th inning. And a swing and a miss for strike one. 96-mile-an-hour fastball that was up. Ramirez, Pablo Sandoval, Mike Napoli to bat here in the inning. Swing and a miss. That one by Hanley at 97.
Yeah, that's good velocity right there. 95 on his first pitch, 97 that time right by Ramirez.
Osuna had Tommy John surgery. He's just 20 years old. Foul back, still 1-2. Be sure to follow Nesson on Instagram to see all sorts of cool pictures this Red Sox season. Our followers continue to grow every day. See if we can't get to 50,000 before the end of the summer. Follow Nesson on Instagram today.
I bet you it was somewhere around 40,000 right now.
Pablo Sandoval waiting on deck. Back towards the mound, and Osuna throws out Ramirez for the first out of the 8th inning.
I'm told we're at 27-25, so we're not quite at 40 yet. A little short. A little short, yeah. I was a little off on that one, as this whole day has been a little bit off.
One out here in the 8th, and it brings up Pablo Sandoval. 2 hits tonight for Pablo, both singles to right. He has scored twice in the game. On the ground right side to Devin Travis. Well, the second out here of the 8th. Well, tomorrow at 6:30, don't miss Red Sox Game Day Live, presented by DCU. TC and Jim Rice will preview Justin Masterson's start against the Astros. DCU, Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? Masterson matched up against Dan Straley, getting the start tomorrow night for the Astros. Colts will pitch on Saturday, and Eduardo Rodriguez on Sunday for the Red Sox in the weekend series. Napoli with a big swing and a miss at that high fastball at 97. Mike walked back in the first inning. Since then has grounded out twice and struck out looking. Down the right field line, and that is a fair ball to the corner. Napoli is headed for second base, and the throw from Bautista back into the infield, but no problem. Napoli getting a stand-up double with 2 down here in the 8th.
Napoli had been 2 for his last 19 and gets this double to the opposite field. We don't see him do this very much and go in that direction, but on the good velocity on fastball is a little bit late, but late in a good way. Taking it down that right field line for the 2-base hit.
Now Alejandro De Aza. Swing and a miss. He was credited with a base hit, a scoring change back in the 7th inning. So he's had a 2-hit night. Triple in the first, single in the 7th. Kevin Pillar, the center fielder, step or 2 towards left center, gap out in right center. The Sox getting 3 runs in their half of the 7th inning to add to their lead. They're on top 8-4, now 11-4. And Ayaza hooks this to right field for a base hit. Napoli being waved around. He will score. The Red Sox 12th run of the game, and Boston on top now 12-4. 3rd hit of the game for Alejandro De Aza.
3 hits and 4 RBIs tonight for De Aza. So all coming with 2 outs. The double to the opposite field by Napoli. Then De Aza hitting this ball hard, pulling it, and picking up his 4th RBI of the night. Gives him a total of 23 now on the season. Been a hot hitter for the Red Sox. 8 straight games now.
Ryan Hannigan looking for his first hit. He's been on base twice tonight, but does not have a hit. He reached on an error and has reached on a walk. Fly ball right field. Bautista backpedaling. Will make the catch that ends the inning. Red Sox out a run, take a 12-4 lead to the bottom of the 8th. NESSONClubhouse.com. It has videos, games, and a whole lot more. It's fun, free, and easy to use. Visit NESSONClubhouse.com today. 12-4, Red Sox on top. They had a run in the top half of this, the 8th inning. Changes for the Red Sox. Jackie Bradley Jr. checking in right field. And moving from right to left is Alejandro De Aza. So Miguel Ramirez coming out of the game. As we play here on to the bottom of the 8th inning, new pitcher for the Red Sox, Matt Barnes. Josh Donaldson leading it off in the bottom of the 8th. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. He's been warming up at least 3 times in this game, and early in this game finally gets in the 8th. 17th appearance, 2-2 with a 4.82 earned run average. To left field, and a base hit for Donaldson to open up the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, you're right about Barnes. He was up back early in the ball game when the Blue Jays scored 4 runs back in the 2nd inning. You know, they tell us here in Canada that there's a full moon tonight, so that kind of explains what's going on here at the ballpark tonight. I got a question for you, Don. Does that mean there's a full moon in the United States too?
Yes, I believe that's the case. Yes.
In Boston?
Yes, I think. Yes. Pitch outside for ball 1 to Bautista. He's been on 3 times. 2 walks, a single. He's driven in 2 runs. Let's see, Gondo going 2 innings of relief tonight for the Red Sox. One foul back above us. And back down again. Probably misplayed by a fan in the upper deck. And so Gondo tonight, 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs. Walked the batter, struck out 3. Wade Miley went the first 5 and is the pitcher of record. Walked 7 in 5 innings, gave up 4 runs. Softly lined into left field for a base hit for Bautista. Donaldson takes second. Back-to-back hits for the Blue Jays here in the bottom of the 8th.
Bautista picks up his 2nd hit of the night. He's actually 2 for 3 on the night. He's walked a couple of times. He's got 2 hits, and he's driven in 2 runs. Cleans out an inside fastball a lot of times. Soft line drive up over the head of Bogaerts.
Two on, nobody out. And Edwin Encarnacion, the batter. He has walked 3 times in this game. Barnes last working on Saturday at Tampa Bay. Allowed 2 runs, walked a batter. Struck out 4 in an inning and 2/3. Gave up home runs to Rivera and Longoria in that outing against Tampa Bay on Saturday. Donaldson at second. Bautista at first. Yank that down and away. At 97, 2-1. Encarnacion now. Colabello waiting on deck. Chopped foul outside of third. Single for Donaldson to begin the inning, followed by the single by Bautista. 2 on, nobody out. Swing and a miss. Encarnacion striking out on the high fastball. Out number 1 at the bottom of the 8th.
A challenge time with the high fastball this time from Barnes. And Encarnacion underneath the high fastball. He's got 3 walks tonight. 0 for 2 now for Encarnacion on the night.
2 on 1 away for Chris Colabello. On the ground towards second base. Holt to Bogarts for 1. On to first for 2. Double play turned by the Red Sox defensively here to end the 8th. We head to the 9th. 12-4 Boston. David Ortiz with a 3-run home run in the first inning. Part of an 8-run first inning for the Red Sox. And for Big Papi, his 14th home run of the year. Well, the Red Sox right now enjoying a 12-4 lead as they come to bat in the 9th and face the 8th Blue Jays pitcher of the game. As Todd Redmond out there for the Jays, last reliever they have in the pen, his 7th appearance. He had been up earlier in the game, now in, and it's the top of the Red Sox order. Mookie Betts to lead it off. That's with 3 hits in the game tonight, all singles, 2 to left, 1 to right. Redmond taking over for Osuna, who went an inning giving up 2 hits and a run. Saw Redmond go 3 1/3 innings of work. Did not allow a run in relief against the Red Sox earlier in this series as he misses down and away. The starter tonight for the Jays did not record an out. Gave up 6 hits, 7 runs to Matt Boyd tonight, the starter, in his 2nd Major League start. So truly a bullpen game tonight for the Jays from that point. Broken back grounder that stays fair, and Colabello right at the bag will tag it for the first out.
A lot of big offensive nights for the Red Sox tonight. 3 hits for Betts. Holt's got a couple. 4-hit night for Bogarts. The home run by Ortiz. A home run by Ramirez. De Aza with 3 hits and 4 RBIs. So Red Sox with showing a lot of offense in this game. 18 hits.
They made another scoring change on De Aza. They started from just a straight error to a single. Now they give him credit for a double, taking the error away completely at first base. So he's got a double now in the 7th inning as this one scoots to the backstop.
That's probably got to change again before the night's over.
Probably.
Yeah. So I wouldn't make the adjustment on your scorecard.
They may turn it to a home run soon.
Yeah, it could be another run for the Reds. We don't know about it.
To right, and a base hit for Brock Holt with 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Now Holt's now got a 3-hit night, including that very exciting delay steal with the shift on David Ortiz. That back in the 4th inning.
So 1 out, 1 on, and brings up Xander Bogaerts. Red Sox have action in their pen as Craig Breslow warming up in the pen. Swing and a miss for Bogaerts, who finds himself down 0-2. Xander with 4 hits in the game has never had a 5-hit game in his young career. To center field, Kevin Pillar back to the track to make the catch in front of the wall. Nice running catch by Pillar to get back there. That carried better than I thought it would, and Pillar gets back there to make the grab for the 2nd out.
You know, it's been fun watching both Mookie Betts and Pillar in this series play center field. I mean, they both have excellent instincts. They get great jumps on the ball. They both have very good speed. And Pillar continues to impress me the more I see of him. Two guys that can really play that position of center field, that's for sure.
Ortiz with a mighty swing, looking for his 2nd home run of the night. David with a 3-run home run back in the 1st inning. RBIs 37, 38, 39. His 14th home run. To right. Bautista reaches up and makes the catch. It almost got over his head. A bullet out there to right. Red Sox leave a base runner at a 12-4 lead. inning, driving in 2 with his triple. And gets by the dive of Kevin Pillar out there in center field. Sandoval and Napoli would both score on the triple for De Aza. Now we play along here to the bottom of the 9th inning as Devin Marrero is taking over at shortstop for the Red Sox. That's a night for Xander Bogaerts, who had a 4-hit night in the game. The new Red Sox pitcher Craig Breslow, his 23rd appearance, not a record at 3.54 earned run average, 22 strikeouts at 12 walks, and opponents hitting at .277 against Breslow. Russell Martin leading it off here for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 9th inning. Breslow takes over for Matt Barnes, who in an inning giving up 2 hits, no runs, didn't walk anybody, and struck out a batter. Popped up foul off to the right, out of play. Well, the Red Sox gathering 19 hits in the game tonight, and that is a new season high for Boston. Strike 2. I saw Breslow on Friday night at Tampa Bay in 2/3 of an inning, giving up a hit, had a strikeout. His last 4 2/3 have been scoreless. Had a little trouble with the landing spot the last couple of deliveries. Valencia waiting on deck as Martin leads off the bottom of the 9th inning. In the air down the left field line, struck well. De Aza going back to the corner, and it's gone. Home run for Russell Martin, his 12th of the year. And it's now 12-5. Red Sox have the lead.
That gives you a little bit of an idea how strong Russell Martin is, because that was a changeup. He gets out on his front foot and still has enough power to get it out of the ballpark for the home run. Changeup away, all the weight kind of on that left foot, the front foot, and still drives it out of the ballpark.
First run that Breslow has given up in his last 4 2/3 innings. Danny Valencia has got a hit tonight, 1 for 3 with a walk. He has hit a single to left field. Now a fly ball struck well to deep center field. Betts going back, and that ball is gone. The Blue Jays go back to back on Craig Breslow. Martin, now Valencia. It's 12-6.
Valencia, 5th of the season, straightaway center field. The fastball from Breslow at 90 miles an hour away. And he takes it right back up the middle. Betts making a chase for it, but no chance. So those extra runs the Red Sox got looking pretty big right now.
5th home run given up by Breslow. 5th time the Blue Jays have gone back to back on the year. Pillar to center field. Betts going back. Mookie can't get it. It's up over his glove, and Pillar will stop at second base with a double. Another well-hit ball off Craig Breslow here in the 9th.
4 hits on the night for Pillar, and some good defense from him in the outfield. See John Farrell shaking his head. I mean, Uehara is down there. Do they want to get him up? He would not like to have to get him up in this game. Nice effort by Betts as he leaps, but right over the top of the glove, and still nobody out in the inning.
And for Pilar, first 4-hit game of his career. That's second with nobody out, and Devin Travis coming up. Fouled off to the right. To center, Betts coming in and over to make the catch on the slide. Tagging is Pilar. Throw to third base. He'll get there. Not sure that was really worth it. Tagging up there and moving to third. He could have been the second out of the inning.
And you better be absolutely sure that you can make it to third base down by 6 runs in the 9th inning. Nice play by Betts. He's been very active out there this inning. Pops up, makes the throw to third base, and a little bit off the mark.
Well, Jose Reyes, who does not have a hit in tonight's game, 0 for 5 contest for him, and fly ball out to left center field. And the catch over the shoulder by Devin Marrero. Spins and gets it back into the infield. Marrero, the shortstop, out there to make the grab.
That's a pretty nice play for a guy that's been sitting on the bench all night. Come in, replace Bogarts, go back, not concerned about the outfielders. Come in, he calls for it and makes a over-the-shoulder catch.
So 2 down now in the 9th. Brings up Josh Donaldson. Ball 1 to Donaldson. Pilar at third base with 2 down here in the 9th. Two and 0. There's a strike, 2-1. Fastball on that inside corner. Foul back in. It's 2-2. Blue Jays, who had 2 runs so far here in the bottom of the 9th inning, had not scored since the 2nd inning. On the ground and at third, Sandoval's got it, spins and fires for the out. The Red Sox win it. Boston able to win tonight and take 3 out of 4 from the Toronto Blue Jays. Red Sox with some big offensive numbers tonight, and the Red Sox go 5-2 on the road trip as they come up big tonight with 12 runs and 19 hits, a season high in hits for Boston in a game that takes 3 hours and 34 minutes to complete. The Red Sox are headed home victorious 12-6 as we send it to Tom Caron.